Seahawk crowd that's in its usual full roar as he and his mates get set to go head-to-head with their opponents. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. Now, they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
And they'll run it here. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now back to throws. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. They'll look to throw, and he connects with Vance McDonald. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, but he's got it.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he gets it down to the 32. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
He'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Out of the gun now on third down. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
He gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. They enter play here 24th in the league against the run.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
Another shot from the 9 on second and goal. They get it to him running left. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear him now. Third and goal. Looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11 quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on speed other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Play action. It's Wilson. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to spring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. He'll dump it off to Procise. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to make it fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
A field position changer there. 49 yards on the punt. Couple that with a loss on the return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. And they'll go with the ground attack here. They had a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. And they'll go ground game here on the tailback. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd-and-1s, 3rd-and-2s. That's why you draft him.
This will go for 5 up to the 33. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
Well, not a huge game there as we head towards the 2-minute warning. It'll be interesting to me to see what they decide to do after the timeout.
Two minutes to go here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. No gain on the play there, second down.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. 12 more yards there and another first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with, but it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he floats one there, incomplete. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he rifles one incomplete.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one into the end zone.
They'll look to throw here. Flushed out right. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they get their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
Gostkowski now converted for 3. Now he'll kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. On 2nd down, Wilson. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. He's going to air into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you, too, in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll start up at New Era Field just outside of Buffalo. And it's the Browns who have the lead late in the first half. Braxton Miller, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head to the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, to check in on the Broncos. And they trail that one to the visiting Oakland Raiders. Mark Ingram has a touchdown there. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, see what's happening with the Bengals. And they were losers in that game as they fall to the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. 31-12 was the final. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is taken at the 3. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Size. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. They run it with Carson. And some room to work. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense, great communication.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man, in there to get him for a loss of 5.
We are seeing two really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tall.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. They'll look to throw here on first down. Going up top. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
He'll drop to throw. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Bobby Wagner coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4...
And the pressure gets to him again. Barkevious Mingo. He's the one to get him this time. And back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now. 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. From the shotgun, Wilson. He hits Baldwin right side. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on football.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up
and he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in the 4th. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. They're going to look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Play action. Now Wilson. He's going to air one out. He's got a man. Complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 36 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead. You're exactly. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
He got 29 yards that time. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. Oh, he's got some breathing room. The 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. And so much for the game-winning 2-minute drive. I think that interception return there pretty much seals the deal.
And one thing to keep in mind, in this situation with the score that close, defense isn't backing off and just giving you easy throws. They're playing aggressively as well, and they end up picking that one off and sealing the deal for themselves.
All right, now a big two-point conversion attempt still to come. He'll look to throw. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for two, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that two-point attempt.
Back to the air, Wilson after the pick six. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Clock running, and the Seahawks, they're running too, trying to speed up to the line of scrimmage. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And he goes out right around the 39. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure cat and flip the down marker back to 1.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Throwing now is Wilson. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Cameron Sutton. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him. Find him.
His throw caught right around the 6. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Vance McDonald. His second touchdown on the season. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
He'll look to throw. And he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth-quarter lead. And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. The numbers tell the story. Not the best start, but it's not often how you start, it's how you finish. And since that start, he's been good.
Can you just imagine what was going on in the locker room with the defensive coordinator? Because things were working so well. His game plan was in effect. They were holding him down. He was off his game. But you just know that he was nervous at halftime because you don't hold a guy like that down for very long. And in this case, his fears were realized.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
To throw is Wilson. Baldwin with it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First down, Seahawks. Wilson to Baldwin. On first down, Wilson. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. This is Carson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. On third down, Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And now before they run this fourth down play, we're going to get a timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. Here we go. It's Wilson on fourth down. Stephon Tuitt able to get him for a loss of about 3. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for our visit,
Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.